The committee is back in session. Mr Banducci, the committee's had a discussion about the situation in which we collectively find ourselves, and off the back of that discussion I just want to, out of an abundance of caution and providing an abundance of clarity to you, I just want to ask you a very simple question, which is, do you know what the return on equity was for the Woolworths Group in the last financial year?
Senator, thank you for the question. I'm here to be constructive and to be helpful because we have important issues before us on the cost of living of Australians. I have been authentic and clear in answering the question that as we assess profitability in our sector, I look at return on investment and total shareholder returns. Those are the numbers we look at, those are the numbers in our remuneration system, and that's where I focus. Return on equity actually does vary, as you would be aware, by month or depending on where share prices are, and I don't focus on that. I don't know it because that's not where the focus is. The focus is you put $1 in, what return do you get out? And that's where we focus, and that's what we are focused on doing. And when you look at it that way, you see us making a fair return, and it's the 10% in return of funds employed after tax. And you see us making a fair return in the context of the stock market, a 10% total shareholder return over 5 years, which is the average of the ASX top 100 over that period.
In that reasonably lengthy response, Mr Banducci, did I hear you say that you didn't know what the return on equity is for the Woolworths Group in the last financial year?
Since you heard me say I do not focus on it given it changes over time, and therefore it's just not where our focus is, as it shouldn't be. It's return on investment.
I do understand that's not where your focus is, Mr Banducci. You've repeatedly made that statement to the committee. I'm asking you very simply, do you know what the return on equity was over the last financial year for the Woolworths Group? Do you know that?
Senator, I focus on our return on investment and our total shareholder return. Those are the numbers I know, those are the numbers I focus on, and those are the numbers we should be judged on.
Yes. Thank you, Mr Banducci. I know that you know those other numbers. I've repeatedly asked you whether you know the ROE. You haven't answered that question. I want to advise you that if you don't know what the return on equity was for your group on average over the last financial year, you can just simply say so. You can just say that to the committee, and if you do that, I will simply ask you to take the question on notice and come back to the committee with the answer. So I'm asking you again, do you know what the return on equity for your corporation was in the last financial year?
Senator, that is not what I focus on. I don't know what the number is specifically. Happy to take the question on notice.
You don't know?
I focus on what is key for us.
Please, this is important, Mr Banducci. This is very important because it is open to the Senate to hold you in contempt, and that carries potential sanctions, including up to 6 months imprisonment for you. That's why this is a critical matter. So I just ask you to address your mind with absolute clarity, please, to the question I am asking. I'm not asking what you focus on, Mr Banducci. That's not relevant to this discussion. What is relevant is what you know. Do you know what your return on equity was in the last full financial year? Just yes or no, please, Mr Banducci.
Senator, I've tried to be very specific in saying what we focus on. That is where my focus is. So return on investment, $1 in, and what our return is out, and what is our shareholder return. Those are the numbers I focus on.
Do you know what your ROE was? Like, it's a simple, just yes or no. Do you know or not, Mr Banducci?
Senator, I will take the question on notice. I don't focus on it. I don't focus on it.
In order to take it on notice, you'll have to inform the committee that you don't know the answer. That's the point I'm making. So I want to be clear with you. If you simply say that you don't know and you'll take the question on notice, we can move on. We can move on. But you will need to explicitly inform the committee that you don't know the answer. Do you know the answer to that question or not?
Senator, I don't focus on it. It will probably be in a document somewhere, but it's not a number I focus on and therefore know in detail, no.
You don't know it?
I don't focus on it, Senator.
Okay,
I focus on return on investment.
Right, so I think we're getting somewhere. Just before you come in, Senator Pratt. So just to be clear, your evidence is you don't know the answer to that question.
Senator, I told you I don't focus on it. It's not the numbers that drive our industry. The way our industry should be assessed is the total return on investment and total shareholder return. That is the way our industry should be assessed. I can't comment on other sectors like the banking industry and how they think about it.
I'm not asking you to do it.
I'm just saying that's what we focus on. Those are the key metrics I get on a half-year and a full-year basis, and that's where my focus is.
If I may interject, please, Chair. Mr Banducci, this is a very, very important Senate inquiry. We're in the midst of a significant cost of living crisis where people can't afford to pay their rent, they can't afford to pay their mortgages, and they're struggling to fill up their shopping trolley. Our question, what Senator McKim is asking you, is very simple. Do you know the answer? If you do, tell us. If you don't know the answer, tell us and take it on notice. So what we are seeking is, yes, I know it is X. No, I do not know. I will take it on notice. They're the two options. We're not wanting to know what you focus on. We're wanting to know the answer to that simple question.
Thank you, Senator. The heart of the question is how we assess the performance
The heart
of our
of the
business.
question
That's how we measure it.
Sorry, Senator Kovacic, thank you very much for your assistance. Mr Banducci, the heart of the question is not how you or your executive team or the board assess anything. That is not only is that not the heart of the question, it's not even vaguely relevant to the question. The question is, just to be clear, do you personally, Mr Brad Banducci, do you know what the return on equity was for Woolworths in the last financial year? Do you know the answer to that? Do you know what the ROE was for Woolworths in the last financial year or not? It's an abundantly simple question. It would really assist the committee, Mr Banducci, if you would simply answer it with clarity for the committee.
Senator said, I don't focus on that number. It is not a number we focus on and not a number we report to. We focus on these numbers that I've talked to. If it helps the committee in terms of us moving on, I don't know that number and I'm happy to take it on notice.
So I'll take that you have answered that question now by saying that you don't know the return on equity for your for Woolworths in the last financial year. That's what you've just said, isn't it?
Within the context of assessing the performance of Woolworths, Senator, and the number way we assess performance...
There's no context around this, Mr Banducci. Sorry, please don't hedge here. There's no context to this question apart from the context where you are giving evidence to a Senate committee and it is open to the Senate to hold you in contempt and imprison you for up to 6 months if you do not comply with an order of this committee. That is the context of this question. So I think you have said, and I'm just asking you to confirm this, I think your evidence to the committee is you don't know what the return on equity was for Woolworths in the last financial year and you would like to take the question on notice. Could you please just answer yes or no whether that is your evidence to the committee?
Senator, yes, I will take it on notice and we will come back and provide...
No, but yes, just to be clear, yes, when you say yes, that is yes, I do not know, and yes, you'll take it on notice. Are you answering yes to both parts of that question?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, thank you, Mr Banducci. You don't know what the ROE for Woolworths is in the last financial year.